fighting this cough, whatever you call it, that's been going around. It's super annoying and I'm over it already. But we are back in the kitchen. We're going to make something fun today. I've been looking for something the last 2 days to do today on our live video, and this recipe kept popping up on my Pinterest. I swear I saw probably 15 different versions of this recipe, and I thought, okay, this recipe keeps popping up, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make these. I was looking for something super easy and simple because, as I said, I'm still recovering and I'm still fighting to get my strength back, and I don't want to do anything super hard right now. I'm trying to kind of, reserve my strength a little bit. So we are going to make some strawberry biscuits. I have seen Fallon at Moss Family Kitchen make blackberry biscuits before, and I've wanted to try those, but for some reason these strawberry biscuits just kept jumping off the Pinterest page today for me. So that's what we're gonna do. So I ran to Fred Meyer real quick, grabbed some fresh strawberries. I'm pretty sure they're not super sweet, but you know what, we're gonna go with it. We're just gonna do it, and these are gonna be delicious. Hubby is out working in the woods today, as he is every Saturday, almost every Saturday. We have a sweet couple from our church that had a lot of damage from the ice storm we had last year. And so he's been going out there every Saturday as often as he can to help them clean up that mess on their 22 acres that they have. So yeah, so we're gonna make some strawberry biscuits today. These are super easy. The biscuit dough goes together in the food processor, but we're gonna put our liquid in a bowl so that we can fold that in along with our strawberries and not pulverize those in the food processor. I don't want to do that. I want these to be nice and tender biscuits. If you've never made biscuits in a food processor, I highly, highly recommend it. It is the easiest way to make biscuits. I do this with my buttermilk biscuits when I make them all the time. This is the way I make them, is in the food processor. It really is an easier way than having a tough biscuit. This does a great job at getting your biscuits nice and fluffy, getting your butter equally distributed, getting everything combined nice and evenly. And so that makes it super easy. So as you jump in, say hi, let me know that you guys are here. And we're going to get started on these. We're making some strawberry biscuits. These are going to be perfect for just anything. I mean, any kind of snack you want to do. Let me know you guys are here when you come in. Say hi. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. That means a lot to me. So we're going to start off with our baskets or biscuits. We're going to do these. We're going to get the butter chopped up and get that into our food processor. And from Indio, wow, that's awesome. So I've got 3 cups of flour in my food processor right now. And we're just going to cut our butter up here real quick and get that in the food processor. As I was saying earlier, if you just joined us, making biscuits in the food processor is the easiest way to get a nice tender biscuit, because the food processor does all the work for you. You don't have to overwork it or anything like that. So we're just going to cut up our cold butter into some cubes, get this put into our food processor with our flour, and these are going to be delicious biscuits tonight. My husband's going to be super excited to have these. So we're going to do 1 cup of butter to the 3 cups of, I am in the United States. I'm in Oregon, the United States. We're on the West Coast. So thank you for the super chat. This is my very first one, just so you guys know. I don't like to ask for it, but I'm super excited when I get them. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So we're just going to finish cutting up this butter. We're going to add the rest of our ingredients in here and get these biscuits mixed up. My day is going pretty good. I'm still battling getting over the flu. I've been fighting it for about 3 weeks. Happy Saturday, Karen. Thanks for joining. I am teaching cooking, yes. So we've got 3 cups of flour in here with a cup of butter that we cubed up. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then this is my salt, baking powder, and baking soda. We're just going to add all of those ingredients in there. We're going to pulse this until we get our butter fully mixed into our... Thanks for coming. If you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you part of our YouTube family. So we're going to pulse this real quick and get our butter cut into our flour. I have some videos on my channel where I teach bread. Thanks for subscribing. All right, I think we have that mixed in. Yep, that looks perfect. So for my food processor, I put on a the pastry blade instead of using my regular blade for this. I'm using the pastry blade, which is a little bit easier when you're using it for making dough. It doesn't have a super sharp blade on it, and it makes it a whole lot easier to mix in things and not really pulverize it. That tropical banana bread, Karen, is incredible. It is so good. All right, so this is what the pastry blade looks like on a food processor. So the pastry, see, this is a regular blade for a food processor. It has a really sharp blade on it, and your pastry blade has it's a plastic blade with no sharp edges on it. So we're gonna go ahead and put in I'm gonna grab a fork really quick. That's my favorite way to mix in our dairy that we're gonna put into these. So we've got our 3 cups of flour, our 1 cup of butter, our baking soda, baking powder, and salt in here. We're gonna put in 1/4 cup of heavy cream and 1 cup of buttermilk, because after all, we are making buttermilk biscuits. So I'm going to put all of this in first, and we're going to gently mix our dough together before we put our strawberries in, because I don't want the strawberries to get pulverized. I want them to still stay nice and whole. These little pieces right here, I want them to be still really nice strawberries in these biscuits. I have a little bit of extra buttermilk if I need it. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not. But this really is the easiest way to make biscuits. If you've never made them in a food processor, I highly recommend doing that. And I think I am going to put just a bit more buttermilk in here. No, I'm just using all-purpose flour. I'm planning to get a food mill and start grinding my own flour. I watch another YouTube channel where she does that, and it looks so good to be able to do that. So I want to make sure I get all of this dry flour in the bottom of the bowl. You want to get it mixed into the buttermilk before we add our strawberries. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my strawberries in here. I'm going to gently fold. It's just all purpose. It's what we have here in the United States. It's just a basic white flour. All right, so I have my strawberries mixed in here. I'm going to move my food processor out of the way because I don't need it anymore, and it's just going to be in my way up here. There, I need the room. Yeah, all purpose is what I'm using. All right, so I'm going to take my fork and I'm just going to gently fold these strawberries into this dough. I like my biscuit dough to be a little bit on the wetter side, a little bit on the sticky. I am making strawberry biscuits. So these would be great for a breakfast if you want to put out some delicious biscuits for your breakfast. I think these would, if you're one of something like sweet and savory together, it's really, really good with some bacon on these in the morning. Good evening. So we're going to get these mixed up. So now I'm going to put this on my board so I can start working this dough together. But I'm going to do it really gently. I'm going to put a little more flour down here just so I make sure that it's not gonna stick to my board. I'm gonna take off my jewelry. Yes, we're making biscuits. All right, so I'm gonna dump this out here. Get this all worked together. You don't want to overwork biscuit dough. When you're making biscuits, you want to be really careful that you don't overwork it. So just take your hands and just gently kind of compact your dough together. Get it all mashed together on your board. And then we'll take our biscuit cutter and we will cut out our biscuits and put them on our pan over here. I have my oven preheated at 375. So biscuit dough can be kind of tricky to work with if you don't have enough liquid in it, but you also don't want to overwork it. So I'm just trying to get all of my dough put together so that I can pat this out and cut our biscuits. These are perfect for a brunch. It's just my husband and I. We don't have kids. It's just us. All right, so I'm gonna pat these out. You could use a rolling pin, but I'm not going to because of the strawberries. I don't want the strawberries to get mashed with the rolling pin. So we're just gonna use our hands to push out the dough. Get it pushed out so we can cut it. I think these are gonna be delicious biscuits. All right, I'm gonna grab my biscuit cutter really quick. So I just have a regular biscuit ring and I'm going to cut these out. So there's one of our strawberry biscuits. Once I get this first round cut out, so there's another one. We're just going to put these on our baking sheet. Once we get this first round of biscuits cut out, then we'll gather up our dough again, flatten it back out. I do about an inch thick. I like to have big, thick biscuits, but if you don't want them that thick, Karen, you can always make them a little bit smaller. These would be great if you wanted to do little mini biscuits for a brunch or something. They would be fine to do that. So there's another one. So I've got the rest of my dough here. We're gonna go ahead and gather this all up, pat this out one more time, and get the rest of our biscuits cut out. Get all of our flour off our board. Make sure we're not losing any of our stray strawberries. And then we're just gonna pat this out again. I'm making a mess all over everything, but that's okay. All right, let's do a couple more. And I'm okay if these touch each other in the pan. I'm not too worried about that. It'll just give you a soft side on the biscuit, which is okay. I want to get as many biscuits as I can out of this dough. This really is a nice biscuit dough. And I think it's going to be, these are going to be delicious. My husband is going to be, I love making biscuits. I really do. So you always end up with this dough at the end. And you're like, what do I do with this? I just do a free-form biscuit. And I just pat it out and stick it on the pan. Just like that. And I just stick it on there. And I'm okay with it not being perfect. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to wash my hands really quick. All right, so I got my hands washed. So I'm gonna put these biscuits in our 375 oven, and we're gonna bake these until they are done. They'll take about 15 minutes probably. So in that amount of time, we can kind of clean up a little bit. And this is always a great time to ask questions. If you guys have questions about my channel, if you guys have questions about me, anything like that, this is a good time for us to chat. So feel free to ask me questions if you want to. Yes, preheated oven, 375 is where I have mine. I'm not sure what you mean direct, but I just preheat it. I just preheat it to 375 and let it, as soon as my oven is hot and it lets me know that it's hot, then I can put the food in. I've never been to India. I've actually never been outside the United States. 15 minutes at 375, yeah. So 15 minutes from the time you put the biscuits in the oven. We'll check them and see. We'll check them in 15 minutes and see what they look like. And if they're not done, then we'll leave them in a little bit longer. And we leave them in there until they're nice and golden brown. These are actually going to have a glaze on them instead of putting butter on them. So I can use my bowl right here that I had my strawberries sitting in. I'm going to grab my vanilla really quick. We can go ahead and make our glaze for our biscuits. And I like to make my glazes. I've never made the freezer biscuits with the heavy cream, but I do make biscuits for the freezer. In fact, it's funny that you mentioned that, Karen, because I was just sitting down yesterday, because as you know, I've been sick and I hadn't ordered my planner for the year yet. And so I finally got my planner yesterday. And so I sat down with my planner and started making my list of all of my freezer things that I need to get done. So I have a whole list of freezer things that I'm going to be doing here soon to get our freezer ready for the rest of winter and into early spring. I like to make biscuits for the freezer, burritos for the freezer. My husband likes chicken pot pie, so I do those for the freezer. So we're going to be doing a couple of big freezer cooking days here really soon to get our freezer ready. So I'm going to do a little bit of heavy cream and with that powdered sugar and vanilla. And this is going to be our glaze, and it's going to go on our biscuits. Have you made those biscuits before, Karen? You can tell we need a little more. Yeah, chicken pot pies are great for the freezer. Now that I'm teaching a kids class at church on Wednesday nights, I need to have some things that are super easy for me to just throw together really quick or throw in the oven, because I take that stuff with me to church and drop it off with my husband so he can eat before his Bible study class. So that's what I want right here, is my glaze to just be drizzling consistency. Because when the biscuits come out of the oven, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually Christian. I am not Catholic or Protestant. I'm a Christian. I go to a Christian church. No, they're actually raw, Karen. I take the biscuits, I make the biscuit dough, and then I cut them out, and then I put them on a sheet pan and I flash freeze them until they're frozen solid. And then I just put them in a Ziploc bag with parchment paper in between them. And then when I want a couple of biscuits, then I can just take out the... Okay, Chevy, I'm deleting you. I'm done. So then I just freeze them, and then when I want a couple of biscuits, then I can just take out the biscuits that I want. So it's really good. It's really, really good. Pretty much any biscuit recipe I can think can be frozen. You can hear my dogs. So I learned a fun little trick. I watch Becky from Acre Homestead. If you don't watch her, Karen, you should. And there is an actual video of freezer biscuits. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll leave a link in the description for you so you can go watch it. But so I watched Becky from Acre Homestead, and I had never thought about this part of it. She said that you can take any recipe or any food that you see in your freezer section in the grocery store, you can freeze those things. So biscuits, you can freeze those. And I'd never done that until this last year. And I did it once, and my husband and I absolutely loved it. It was so nice to have fresh biscuits and not have to go to all the work every single time I want one. Acre Homestead. I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link in the description for her channel if you want to check her out. She does a lot of freezer cooking, a lot of freezer meals, and so I love watching her. I watch her stuff all the time. She has a beautiful garden, and she does a ton of freezer cooking this time of year, because when she gets into garden season, which is coming up soon for her to start planting, she likes to have all that stuff in the freezer and ready to go, so she can just pull things out. So it's pretty cool. Hello from Turkey. I freeze meat all the time. In fact, I have a freezer full of meat. But you want to eat it pretty soon after you unthaw it, though, because once you thaw it, it needs to be eaten pretty quickly. But Karen, I'll find that video of the biscuits. I did a Parmesan garlic biscuit for the freezer, and then I did I can't remember now what the other one was, but they both were super, super good. We really enjoyed them. I've got a fun video coming out Monday. Hubby found a recipe that he's been wanting me to make, so I'm making that tonight for dinner for him. Our biscuits are looking incredible. So as soon as the biscuits come out of the oven, we'll let them cool for just a couple minutes, and then I'm going to put the glaze on them because I want that glaze to go on them while they're still kind of hot. Yep, I'm checking them just to see how they're. It might take them a little bit longer than 15 minutes. We'll see. Oh, good. I love making bread. I had not made a ton of bread until I started my job at the sorority house, and my boss there, she had been there for almost 30 years at that point, and she was a fantastic cook, and she was the house director there, and she taught me how to make French bread, and it was incredible. And so once I started with French bread, it kind of boosted my confidence, and then I was just tackling all kinds of bread. The one thing I have not done yet is sourdough. I'm still pretty intimidated. I also like to make the, oh my gosh, it's called, it's a no-knead bread. And it is so good, and it's so easy. If you're looking for a really easy bread to boost your confidence to get into bread baking, that's the bread for you to start with. It's super easy. You can either make it first thing in the morning and let it sit all day and then bake it that night, or you can do it the night before and then let it sit all day and then bake it that night. The longer it sits, the better. I usually, I like to make mine the night before and let it sit, and it sits there all night long, and then usually most of the next day, and then I'll shape it and bake it in the evening. Yeah, it's a no-knead bread, so you don't have to knead it. Like normal breads have to be kneaded a couple different times, and this one you don't have to do that. This one you make the dough, and you just cover it and let it sit, and then it kind of ferments. Yes, I am struggling with, I need to get I killed my starter that I had on the counter. And so I still have some of it in the fridge. So I'm going to get that out. Not right now because I'm still not feeling that great. So I haven't tried to do anything too super. That takes a lot of energy. I'm still trying to hold off on that. So I'm going to pull that out in a couple of weeks and see if I can get my starter going again. But I have not. I love doing stuff with discard. I do discard stuff all the time. But I haven't actually tackled making an actual sourdough loaf yet. Thank you. Me too. My sister-in-law makes sourdough, and she makes it look so easy. She just whips it right out, and I'm like, how do you do that? But she does a fantastic job with it. Her sourdough is always so tasty. Yeah, it just takes too much energy to try to man a sourdough. I just don't have the energy. And I have, even though I'm still recovering, I have a super busy weekend that's coming up next weekend. I have a baby shower that I had already committed to doing. And then our elder lunch at church got moved from this Sunday to next Sunday, which I'm thankful for. But it's just going to be, next week's going to be super busy for me with two big things to do. If I could get rid of this cough, I would be doing fantastic. But just this cough just wants to stick around and be annoying. So what's everybody's weather like where you guys are at? We are in, I believe, the high 30s today. Yes, I do try to stay busy. My husband yells at me. Tells me I need to slow down, but I can't help it. I love being busy. Warm water. I am not a water drinker. I never have been. I don't really love water. I try, but it just is not my favorite thing. I think we're supposed to be warming up here, which will be nice. I think that's another reason why my cough is not gone away, is because it's still just been so cold here. Hi Terry, welcome. 19 degrees, Karen, holy cow. I think we got down to 19 tonight, or last night was our low. It's not an allergy cough. I had the flu right after Christmas. I got really sick after Christmas, and this is just the last of the cough. Yep, it's the cold. You know what's funny though? I didn't really have a cold. I never actually got a runny nose. I didn't never really sneeze or anything like that. It was just the cough and then the achy and just being exhausted and kind of nauseous. My husband kept yelling at me, telling me I need to eat something, and I'm like, you just don't understand. Nothing sounds good, and trying to eat something, I just wanted to throw up. So I lived off of Yoplait yogurt. That was the extent of what I ate. "13 degrees tonight. Wow. I think we're down in the 20s is where we're headed. I felt bad for my husband because he was headed out to work in the woods today for that couple that he's been working for every weekend since we had our ice storm last year. They just have so much damage up there from all their trees on their acreage, and so he's been up there helping them take care of all of that. So I've got a delicious dinner for him tonight. You guys will get to see that video on Monday. That'll be coming out. He's excited. They're starting to brown. I'm just keeping an eye on them at this point. Yeah, the weather has been really weird this year. Wow, where are you at, Terry? 17 degrees. Holy cow. Last year we had our ice storm. It literally shut down our entire area where I'm at. It shut our entire area down for a solid week. We were under ice. Oh wow, Wisconsin, yes, you guys are cold. And it was horrible. We were in the single digits for, I don't know, it was a week, and it was so cold. And everything was frozen. Like literally everything was frozen. You couldn't even get in your cars. There was so much ice. We had 1.5 inches thick ice on all the vehicles. So nobody could get in their cars. It was frozen. We had big, huge, thick ice around the electrical lines around here. Everything was just under ice. It was horrible. Yeah, and the south is getting a whole bunch of snow. Yes, I would much rather have snow than ice for sure. We have 4 little dogs, and so last year when we had all that ice, it was horrible for them trying to go outside to go potty. We had a canopy put up out in the front yard to try to keep the ice off some of the grass so they could at least have a dry spot. But trying to get out there, we had, it was probably this thick. We had started out with snow and then it froze. And then we ended up having ice on top of that for the next several days. And it was horrible. The ice was terrible. The dogs would step and they would sink. So then we'd have to go out and rescue them. We used to have a husky. She lived to be 14. And our neighbors used to tell us, "You're abusing your dog, leaving her out in the cold." And I said, "You don't understand. She's a husky. They live for this kind of weather. They love the snow. We don't get very much snow here where I live, but when we do get it, we do get some snow. And they love the snow. They live for the snow. So she would be out there laying in the snow and panting. And everybody was yelling at us, telling us that we were abusing our dog and they were going to turn us in. I'm like, go ahead, turn me in, fine. But you don't understand. She loves the snow. Oh, you have a husky? I miss my girl. She was a Siberian, a purebred, and she was the sweetest thing. Yeah, I bet those golden retrievers do love the snow, Terry. Ours was a girl. Her name was Naya, or Queen Naya was what we called her. She came from Alaska. We rescued her when she was about 4 or 5. Lucky, that's a great name. They're getting there. We just have 4 little dogs now. Hey, Jeannie. Welcome. We're making strawberry biscuits today. They're in the oven. Strawberry biscuits are in the oven, and they are yeah, none of ours like the rain either, Karen. And so we, during the bad weather here, when we get a lot of rain, we have to put pee pads down in our house because the 4 dogs, they will go outside and they'll be on the deck, on the covered deck, and they won't go. They'll come back in the house and pee on the floor. So we put pee pads down. It saves my carpet. That's just part of what happens when you have little dogs, when they don't like the cold, they don't like the rain, they don't like to get wet. Yeah, we take ours out too, but our oldest dog, Pablo, he's 15 or 16. He's a Chihuahua Min Pin mix, but he's old and he's got some senile things going on, and he's forgetful, and so we do keep pee pads down for him because he sometimes can't remember what he's doing. So, but all of ours are rescues, all 4 of them. Yeah, but you know what? As long as he's still eating and drinking and going potty and doing all the things, we're just letting him do what he's going to do. So, he's a happy boy, and he gets a little burst of energy once in a while and plays with the girls, and then he'll decide he's done, he needs a nap, and he'll go take a nap for a couple hours. And so as long as he's not in pain and as long as he's still doing everything he's supposed to be doing, we're just going to let him keep going. He's lost most of his teeth, and I won't take him to the vet. I'm at the point now where I don't take him to the vet anymore because all they want to do is put him down because of his age. And so I just refuse to take him to the vet anymore. I'm just at the point where if he has something medically going on, it is what it is. I'm not going to do anything at this point, and we're just letting him live his life. He's living his best life, and he's doing what he's doing, and we're okay with it. Ours are very spoiled. I cook their dog food for them. They don't eat commercial dog food. I cook a batch of dog food for them once a week, a big huge pot, and I make their dog treats for them, and they're very spoiled. They are very, very spoiled. Okay, I'm going to turn the pan halfway. Almost. We are super, super close to those being done. I rotated the pan so that the ones in the front are now in the back. Let those go for about 5 more minutes, and then we should be ready to pull those out, look at those, and then we can... I'm going to let them cool for just a couple of minutes before we put our glaze on, because if I put the glaze on too early, they're just going to melt, so... Oh, nice. I make dog food with ground lamb, ground bison, ground turkey, and vegetables. So sweet potatoes, butternut squash, green beans, that kind of stuff. And they get that twice a day. And then they all love fresh carrots. So they get carrots for snacks, treats, stuff like that. They eat a lot of different stuff. Oh no, you can feed veggies to dogs. I use lots of veggies. Our dogs like scrambled eggs too. I give them scrambled eggs once in a while. We have a little Chihuahua. She's a blue Chihuahua, Gracie. She came from a puppy mill down in California, and so she is very cautious with food. We've had her since 2018, I believe, or 2016. 2016. We got her in 2016. She was 5 when we got her. She had 5 litters of puppies, and then they dumped her at a shelter down in California. And so we rescued her through a rescue agency here in our area. And she's very cautious with food. So I don't know what they did to her, where she came from. But we can put down the same food every single time for her, and she still wants to look at it and smell it and check it and make sure. And so I don't know what they did, but anyway, she's been that way since we got her. Ours do love cheese. Gracie loves cheese, and she loves chicken. Chicken is her favorite. So I make their dog food, like I said, with all the meat and the veggies, but then I cook them either like just some boiled chicken or something like that, and they get a little bit of extra meat on top of their food. And so when Gracie sees chicken, she's super excited. Let's check these. Almost. We're talking like maybe 2 minutes. Those are going to be delicious. Yeah, I hate to see when dogs come from horrible environments like that. It just irritates me. And this lady that we've gotten our 3 girls from, she works with a rescue. Actually, it's her rescue in McMinnville, up by Portland, Oregon. And she works with a lady in California, and so they swap dogs all the time. If she's got dogs here in Oregon that she needs to adopt out, she'll send them to Tina in California. And if Tina's got dogs in California she wants to adopt out, she'll send them here to Renee, and Renee takes them. And that's how we got our 3 girls. I'm telling you, these biscuits are smelling incredible. They're going to be so good. I saw your short, Jeannie. I saw that. I need to go watch some more of your videos. I'm starting to feel better. If I could get rid of the cough, I would be doing 1,000 times better. The cough just is still hanging on, and it just is annoying. So I just keep taking my Mucinex and hoping that that works. It's taken a lot of energy to get back in the kitchen and start doing videos again, so I'm trying to pace myself and not do too much at a time. You know, I heard somebody say something like that I should use a humidifier. You're crazy? I think we all are a little bit crazy. All right, are you ready for this? There's our strawberry biscuits. I'm gonna set that down there for a second. I'm gonna let those sit for just a couple of minutes before I put my, because I've got our vanilla glaze right here that we're gonna put on these. These would be incredible, I'm telling you, for breakfast. Put these in a beautiful little basket for your breakfast table. I would eat these with bacon because I don't mind the savory sweet things together. So they look incredible. Let's see if I can get one up. It's looking for a little spatula because they're very, very hot. There we go. You can see all the strawberries in there. Look how fluffy. They are just, these are beautiful. I think I'm going to put this on a plate. Because then we can drizzle just this one. And that way you guys don't have to wait for the entire pan to cool before we glaze them. So we're going to put a little bit of glaze on this. Just a little bit of that vanilla glaze. Look at that. That. I love them when they're hot too. I don't care if they're still really warm. I'm gonna eat it anyway. Get a little bit of that glaze on there. Oh my gosh. Wow. Holy cow. There's the inside. Oh, wow. Okay. Those are dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. But you need to make them because they are delicious. They are so, so good. Look at the flaky layers right there. Look at the flake inside, the strawberries. Oh my word. Hubby is going to be thrilled when he gets home tonight to try one of those. He's going to be so excited. And those are so, so good, friends. Yes, I'll put the recipe in the description box for you guys so you guys can try them. Like I said, if you don't have a food processor, you don't have to use it, but I find that's the easiest way to make biscuits is that. But like I did, I would put your liquid in. You probably could put the liquid in the food processor and then take it out, put it in a bowl before you put your strawberries in. Just that so that you don't end up pulverizing your strawberries, because you know what, the strawberries will get all mushy if you do them in the food processor. So I would make sure at least the strawberries, you fold those into your dough and not but these are super, super good. They are so good. I like the difference that this one has with a little bit of heavy cream and the buttermilk in the biscuit dough itself. That's definitely different than a regular biscuit dough. So these are they are so delicious. I have to stay away from it because I'm gonna eat the entire thing if I don't. But yeah, you definitely should try it. I will leave the link in the description box for you guys of this recipe so you guys can try it. And yeah, hubby is gonna be super excited. They all just turned out so well. They just have such a really good layer in the biscuit. Super, super good. So, all right, well, I think I'm gonna go clean up my mess. I have a sink full of dishes to go wash, and I don't want to, but I need to go do it so I can start making dinner. So that's gonna be another video coming out on Monday. You guys will see that one. That's gonna be a delicious recipe that we have coming out tonight. So you guys will see that video on Monday. And thanks so much, each one of you guys, for coming and joining me today on this beautiful Saturday and making these delicious biscuits. Oh my gosh, ladies, you have to try these things. These are so good. They are amazing. So I really I love getting to enjoy time with you guys on Saturdays. I love getting to do these lives. I'm going to continue to try to do them as often as I possibly can on Saturday. Next weekend, a little bit of a note, the live will not be on Saturday. It'll be on Sunday because I have a baby shower that I'm doing on Saturday and I won't be home. And so we'll do the live on Sunday after church, Sunday afternoon sometime, probably about 3 o'clock on Sunday. I'll leave a link or leave a note in the community page so you guys will know where to look for it. But guys, have a great day and God bless. See ya.